Welcome to the hot seat and a new presenter. Hello, I'm Terry Kent, and in the hot seat today is our local Waitaki District Mayor, Gary Kircher.
Hello, Terry.
Well, thanks Gary for coming along and my first turn here, but I found, and you will not be surprised, I found it wasn't difficult to pull together a list of items that we might talk about, or you might talk about. You're very active on social media. So that's good, and some of our viewers might not be aware of that, but we should make them aware that you're very active on social media and there's a lot of information coming out.
Yeah, I think I've found it to be a really good way to communicate with people, find out what's going on and just let them know what I'm doing. And it's a good media to actually sound out opinions on things. And I think people have found it to be really good. So principally it's been Facebook. And that gives people the chance to enter into a bit of discussion with me on particular issues, which is helpful to both of us, I think, both me and the people on the other side. So
Absolutely. Well, in a more traditional sense, there's some headlines in the paper today relating to our town and district. So it's some comment about legal highs. So do you have some information or observations about that? Those headlines?
Yeah, well, the headlines came out of the meeting yesterday we had at council, but where they came from before that was the activity that happened up to now has been that last week it was in the news that the Hamilton City Council had been successful in implementing a local policy on the whole issue of legal highs, and what that was allowed the body that looks after those sorts of things was to actually implement that policy. They withdrew the interim licences of 5 of the 8 retailers that were selling in Hamilton City, and that wasn't something that I'd been aware that could happen. So since then, basically I've talked to staff. I've actually grabbed the Hamilton bylaw, I've looked at it, I've adapted that, put in some things myself, and basically written at least the bones of a bylaw for us, or sorry, a policy. It's not an actual bylaw, but a policy which we could use ourselves, and that's I've now passed that on to staff, and they're going to be working particularly through Helen Algar to see what we can do about this. Legal highs are just, they're a terrible thing, as many of us know. They are just not safe, and we don't need them.
We certainly don't need them. I saw that there was a little bit of a cry of foul about some of the developments in terms of proximity to various things and finding various ways of doing it, and the retailers thought that was a little bit of unfair juggling of what they consider a legal situation. So does this plan involve using those means? Yeah,
well, basically what they say is the policy has the ability to set out sensitive sites. And we'd probably be in agreement with the Hamilton situation in many cases. They're things like schools, preschools, those sorts of places. They're churches, libraries, basically places where a lot of people can gather and so on, and particularly younger people. Right. And we just don't need these outlets selling near those. So they then set a perimeter around those areas, and so in their case they've said can't be within 100 metres of any of those sites. And as I say, because 5 of the 8 sites in selling these things in Hamilton were deemed to be within that perimeter,
on a very local community basis, you organised and hosted a meeting for regarding the disused BMX track, and we covered that on 45 South, so our viewers have seen the words that were spoken on the evening. Where to from here? What's the next plan? You talked at the end of the coverage of getting together with some consultation with the officers and others. What specifically is going to happen next about the BMX track?
Okay, so a number of different levels. First of all, the people who want to be involved there, they're forming a subcommittee underneath the banner of the Mountain Bike Club, and that's quite an appropriate way to go forward with that. Right. We've talked to a couple of businesses, large businesses, and they really want to get in behind this, and that's with helping to fundraise and provide labour and various things there. We're just in the process of, one of the first things we have to do from here to get things really going is get a track designed, because we can't just put the old one back. It's quite damaged.
I'm
and
sure
so
the
on.
sport's moved on.
And that's right.
We've watched it. We've watched it at Olympic, and and it's yes, I'm sure there are requirements, the parameters of jumps and so forth.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're going to find out what ought to be there in 2014 and beyond.
Yeah, because we can make just a great wee track for kids to go biking around and so forth, or we can make something that's a good competitive track. In which case, if someone wants to be really setting up a full competition club and so forth here, they can do that, and then they can bring other clubs too here. And as an Olympic sport, that would be great to see.
Yeah, to host events. We're well placed. We're pretty central in the South Island, so everything from our opera house to other facilities that we've got. We need to be hosting organisations.
Absolutely.
So maybe the BMX boys and girls as well.
Yes,
that's fine. Gary, I've got other things on my list, but I'm going to save that for another day.
Right.
I think we've covered a good wide range of things today, and I'm going to look forward to talking to you again, and thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you. You've been watching The Hot Seat from 45 South. We look forward to seeing you again.